Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. This time for our weekly recap of Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 13, episode 10, and it was titled, What Happened in the Dungeon? Alright, y'all, before I jump into this recap review, if you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell. And if you end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button along with the share button. Alright, y'all, yes, I'm back with this gray headband on my head because if you don't know, I just came from a trip. And the way my forehead and my scalp is peeling, not appeasing for the camera. So y'all will see this headband until all of that is done. Okay. Anyway, y'all, let's jump into this recap. Y'all. Now, see, this is how I want the Real Housewives to party all the time. This is my type of get-together, okay? They look like they had a bomb-ass time, and I wish I was a fly on the wall. Matter of fact, I don't even want to be a fly. I wanted to be one of the girls in one of the outfits, okay? What? All that ass all around, all the titties all out. Child. They look like they had a bomb-ass time. But let's just jump into the show. Now, the episode was an hour and some change long, so this review recap may be a little bit longer than what it usually is because the episode was like a super episode. I don't know why, but here we are. Anyway, so it opens up with Kenya being like in this hot seat. I forgot the name of the movie where what is that lady name? I can see her face. She got blonde hair and she real tall. And I think she had on a white dress, and then she opened up her legs, and y'all know what movie I'm talking about. Well, the older kids know what movie I'm talking about because it's an old movie. But at any rate, she set up like that. She got the cigarette, talking about something. What, you gonna arrest me for smoking? Yada yada yada. And so the producers is asking her like, what's the definition of a freak hoe? And she was like, you be a hoe for anybody. And so they was like, was you engaged in any freak hoe activity? And she was like, there is not enough holy water or sage in this house that's going to cover up or clean up what happened last night because somebody screwed the stripper. So then we see a day earlier. I said, oh God, Kenya. Now already she had irritated me with that because I'm like, girl, you ain't supposed to tell what happened at the damn bachelorette party. Like, oh, but anyway, child. It's a day earlier. They talking about something. Anybody got any nipple covers? Who this supposed to fit? Who ass this supposed to go into? Candy, I think you gave me the wrong outfit. So they all getting together and stuff, getting cleaned up and stuff, and its ass is all out, child. Asses everywhere, just big old juicy asses, okay? Minus Drew, but she got a cute little plumper. Anyway, Candy tells us that Cynthia is clueless, and she like, that ain't nothing new, because Cynthia stayed clueless or whatever. Portia and Candy joking. I guess everybody got tested for COVID. They said Bolo got tested for COVID, but later on they all had face masks on. So I was kind of like, But then she said they needed to put the shield on. But here go Portia. I want to be unprotected. I want it raw. I said, girl, what? And so then it was lashes on the floor. I said, not the lashes on the floor. We see Cynthia, she in her room, and she think that, they just getting together, having some little game or something like that. She don't know what's going on. So she on the phone, on the FaceTime with Mike or whatever, and she talking to him and whatnot. Candy letting us know, like, hide your pastors, hide your mistresses, hide your everybody or whatever like that. Drew like, look, I'm ready for Uncle Clifford to come pick me up, okay? They all look sexy. They all look good. Like, everybody in their outfits really look good. They was all, like I said, asses, titties, everything was popping everywhere. And I think everybody had on a face mask. Well, like a decorative mask, not like a face mask, because these days you gotta, But anyway, child, so Candy said she gonna get him a real taste of the dungeon. She hit the whip. I said, okay, Candy, that shit, you should have brought that performance to the Shy Girl because... Never mind, we ain't gonna go there. Anyway, she get him the rules and everything, and she saying she the mistress of the evening, and they like, well, should we hide? And so they go run high, and she like, what is y'all doing? Get your asses back over here. So she clicked the whip one more time. They like, all right, mistress. And then she like, man, y'all go hide. So then they go hide back in the hallway where Cynthia can't see. Cynthia coming downstairs or whatever, and Cynthia looking like, what the hell's going doing? You gonna whip me? She was like, yes, I might. She was like, okay, all right. And so she goes sit down on the couch, Cynthia. So then Candy was like, all right, ladies, come in. So then the ladies stomps her in, all looking sexy and stuff, and they enter into the dungeon, and then she picked the whip again. I said, okay, girl. So then Kenya, she got the legs all wide open, like she directing traffic or something, you know, air traffic control and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, now what the fuck is Mark's problem? Because if she doing it, okay, never mind. What Drew said something about something. If she do all this for Mark, then she could be keeping her marriage or something, and she need to see what the lickety lady, what she say, lickety split lady doing or something like that. I said, girl, now you need not talk because your husband going down the tank. But all right, we ain't going to talk about that. So then they tell Cynthia, they like, because you dress like an auntie, and ain't no aunties up in here. So then Candy pull her little bag, because she got an outfit for Cynthia. So she tell her, go upstairs, get your outfit on. She was like, all right. And so Candy said, look, this is, we not giving a fuck. We gonna live our lives. We own who you are, be sexy, and do all that. And I'm like, yes. So it was a wild party, right? It was wild. I'm telling you, look. Somebody should have called me up on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I know y'all don't know me, but I got friends down in Atlanta. And you know, Candy, next time y'all have a party like this, just call your girl up. I'm so mad that I had missed out on, because the Dungeon Tour came up here, I'm going to say 2019, because... yeah, it came up here in 2019 because, you know, everything was shut down in 2020. So it came up here in 2019, and by the time I went to get tickets, it was already sold out. So I was like, damn, because I would have went. But anyway, let's get back to the show. So Candy got the vibrator that go in the panties, right? Cool. And the other, your partner can hold the remote control, and then you can vibrate and all that other stuff. And it's fun at parties and stuff because the people don't know, but you and your partner know. And so you, like, if you don't got one, get one. But at any rate, she go tell Shamia to take the vibrator upstairs, right? So Shamia, like, the mistress told me, no, Marlo went upstairs to help Cynthia get dressed or whatever. And then Shamia came upstairs with the vibrator. And so Shamia was like, the mistress told me that you needed to put these in your panties or whatever. So Shamia ended up stuffing it down there. I said, oh, child. And so... then Latoya came up there with the beverage. Cynthia like, thank you, girl, because I need this. So they getting all ready or whatever. She's sexy. She looked real cute. It was like a white outfit with these little white glittery boots and stuff. It was cute. She come downstairs. Candy put that thing on high. Okay. Do you feel it? She was like, yeah, I feel it. Oh, shit. I was cracking up. So then they go outside because Candy was like, I got a gift for y'all outside or whatever. So she was like, all right, what's outside? Child, Bolo was all in the box, all dancing and stuff. And somebody was like, Bolo got a big bolo. I was cracking up. And so then Portia was like, oh, I'm glad Candy brought Bolo because I follow him. I know all about him. I am ready for him. So she excited. Marlo the shaded Bolo talking about, oh, he got that imitation Chanel on. I said, oh no. Marlo, you looking at the wrong stuff, girl. And then here goes Cynthia. He got a big PP. I said, girl, no, not PP. Girl, stop. So then somebody said it was a work of art. I think that was Drew. And then Portia like, oh, let me help him out the box. Let me help him. So she helping him out or whatever. And so he said he got like a special treatment for the guest of honor and all this other stuff. And I think this is when what's her face? Because throughout the show, they had people sitting in that same hot seat that Kenya sat in. So I think this was when Cynthia was in the hot seat. And they was like, well, did they do like a special show for you? And she was like, well, you know, what happens in North Carolina stays in North Carolina. They was like, you mean South Carolina? Oh, yeah. I was cracking up. So then Candy gave them a stack of ones or whatever. I don't know. I know she said she got out $4,000 of ones, so I don't know how many ones was in each stack, but she gave them a stack of ones or whatever. Latoya talking about some, Kenya, go ahead and hold your head back because I'm ready to sit on your face. I said, oh my. Oh, okay. All right. And then Bolo, he come in dancing or whatever. Like, that's all for. I don't like male strippers. I'm not really into all that because they be doing too much for me. Like I went to a male review and it was just too much. They do too much. They want to pick you up, flip you, do all this, and it's just too much. Like give me a female stripper and let's have a good time. Like I would have just liked to just be dressed up with the women and then all that other stuff with the women's and stuff. The male stripper he could have kept it moving, but he put on a good performance. And he was stacked. He had like a little. He had my elbow in his pants. I mean, not my elbow, child. He had this in his pants. I mean, God blessed him. But anyway, so Bolo, he come in dancing and stuff like that. Marlo let everybody know who was single. She talking about Kenya, she's single. Latoya, she trying to decide if she want to be with her husband or Kenya. She was like, Portia's single for right now. She was running down everything. I was like, Lord, why Cynthia went up there with 3 ones? Girl, if you don't stop it. So they got the mad shields on. They throwing money, like they making it rain and stuff like that. Shamia said something. I don't know what she said, but she said something shady. I think she said something shady towards Bolo, but I can't remember what she said. And then he ended up whipping it out. Of course, they blurred it out and stuff like that. They had like the big blur on. And they blurred it out or whatever. And, Portia like, oh, Lord. She fainting and stuff. Drew like, oh, well, I ain't know. Because Drew and Portia was like, girl, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to come live with you, girl. I'm going to come live with you. And then here go Drew. Well, I still don't know what Ralph was doing up in Tampa. I said, girl, Portia, she twerking on them. Then they dancing, everybody dancing and stuff, having a good time. Portia twerking in the field, child. I was cracking up. Then Bolo was like, all right, he's taking a break. So he go into the room. I thought he was going to come back out and do like a different set or something like that. Because the way, what's the face? Candy was making it seem like he was taking a break a little bit and coming back. But no. So Candy got this sex swing. Like you put it on the door and you can get in all these different positions and stuff like that. And so she put Cynthia into the door swing. And so Cynthia was like, I ain't never been in no sex swing before, and I don't think I wanted to be in a sex swing. This is my first time or whatever. I was like, girl, you got to get you one. But anyway, she go up there, she all, in the sex swing, and her legs is like this and stuff. And then Kenya come all on the floor and stuff. And I said, is she about to fuck herself? Like, what's going on? I didn't know what was going on with Kenya, but she was having a good ass time. It was good to see Kenya in that light or whatever. And so Candy ended up pulling out like this purple vibrator. I'm sure she brought her, what is it, Candy? What is it called? Oh shoot, it's called something by Candy. Y'all know the toy line she got, but I'm sure it was part of her toy line or whatever. So she pulled out the purple one and she started playing with Cynthia with the purple one. So I think they still had the little one, the panty one in there too, and then she had the purple one. So it was the purple on the thing. Girl, if she ain't cream, then her pussy broke. Okay, but anyway, I'm sure she did. So then Portia, because I think Kenya said, well, bring Bolo back out here. So Portia go get Bolo. So he like, was all the cameras gone or whatever? And she was like, yeah, you don't gotta worry about that or whatever. He was like, all right, well, I'll come back out or whatever. So she come back out and was like, all right, well, Bolo said he gonna come back out here. And then they was all like, well, when the cameras gonna go so we can really have some fun or whatever. Which I don't blame them. Like, they don't want all that filmed and stuff. Because what happens at the bachelorette party stays at the bachelorette party and all the other stuff. So at any rate, the camera crew, it was like 12:45 a.m. The camera crew like, all right, well, y'all done filming. We wrapping it up or whatever. And y'all have a good night. They taking the mics off and stuff. And then they leaving. So then Toya was like, well, we really can't have that much fun because this camera's all over the place. Because this camera's in all the rooms and the walls and stuff. So Toya, she was saying that, she was all up on Candy. Like, she was about to take. I said, oh, Lord, you ought to have something. Okay, well, let me get my popcorn. But so Candy was like, oh, we're going to have some fun. So Candy tells us it was a collective idea to turn the cameras a different way or put tape over the cameras, cover the cameras up and stuff like that. So everybody agreed to do that with the camera. So, their stuff wouldn't be all out there. Because somebody really want to, I would have enjoyed seeing them, be freaks and get all up in there. But they don't really want all that on camera and stuff for their kids to see and their family and all that other stuff. So they covered up the cameras. So I think it was Portia talking about something. Where Bolo at with that thing or whatever? And then she was like, Latoya, come down here because you something you gonna be fucking or something, she said. And then Shamia was like, oh, so you gonna be a whole bisexual tonight? And Portia was like, yep, I guess I am, because one of y'all bitches is eating me. One of y'all bitches is eating me tonight. I said, oh my. Can we get that on the camera? Okay, whatever. Anyway, so then we see Drew. She in the hot seat or whatever. And so the producer's like, let's talk about Bolo and stuff. And she like, do I need a lawyer? And so Drew, they asked her like what time she left upstairs or whatever. And she was like, look, I don't know, but I wasn't the last one down there or whatever. And then they was like, well, where did Bolo sleep all night? And she was like, I don't know. I don't know where he slept all night or whatever. So it's the next morning. It's 8:45 in the morning. The downstairs look like a whole hot mess. If you watch P-Valley, and y'all remember how P-Valley was in the morning time when the strippers left, that's how the living room was. I said, well, where the hell Marlo sleep? So Candy, she trying to fix the cameras, but she can't because she too short. Marlo, she doing some self-meditation in her dressing room, child. She said she had to sleep on the edge of the bed because all her clothes and stuff was on the other side. I said, Lord. And then Kenya, she in the hot seat again, and she talking about something. She gonna give all the tea and the shade. I said, oh my God, Kenya, don't do it, girl. Don't do it. But she tells us at 1:18, her nanny brought Brooklyn over around 1:8. I guess it was like 1:18 in the morning. Her nanny brought Brooklyn or whatever. So she went upstairs to be with Brooklyn or whatever. So she said that she went upstairs and she said she came back downstairs and it was like some sexy music. So she heard sexy music playing or whatever like that. And she was saying like Bolo After Dark was fitting to start or something like that. She said she heard sexy music. What'd she say? Oh, so we heard Bolo telling what's her name? Cynthia. I guess she was looking at his peen again or whatever. So she was like, oh my God. He was like, yeah, y'all think all that stuff on the stage is fake. This shit be real as shit or whatever like that. So he was, showing his Johnson because she said she needed to see it and get receipts. I said, okay, girl, all right. And so we see Kenya told us that Portia and Latoya was kissing and grinding on each other or whatever. So we did see Latoya on top of Portia, and we saw like a little bit of them kissing and stuff like that. So they was getting it on, they was probably grinding, and they had them little skimpy outfits on, so it probably was a little. But anyway, so. And then she said she came back downstairs and Drew was doing something, or I think the outside cameras or something. We heard Drew doing some stuff or whatever, like backing it up, and they was like, oh yeah, Drew, bounce on it or something like that. So I was like, was Drew screwing too? So then so Portia asked Tanya, did you get a piece of Bolo? And Tanya was like, no, I can't get a piece of Bolo. No, I can't. She was like, yes, you can. So I was like, get a piece of Bolo. What kind of piece of Bolo is we getting now? Like, what is we doing, girls? So then Portia was like, yes, you can. So here go Bolo. Oh, it's just like a big gold group hug. I said, what? And so then he was saying, like, you always have a place to sit as long as my face is free or something like that. I said, well, who climbed on his face? And so then we hear like some moaning. I said, oh my, can we get the cameras to zoom in? Nothing. Okay. But anyway, so it's like 4:52 at that point when the face was sitting on and all this other stuff. 6 a.m. Kenya said that she was up and she heard some moans and groans coming from the hallway. And then she was like, someone is screwing the stripper. And so then Bolo ended up leaving at 7:06 a.m. I said, oh, child. So then, not Bolo. So then we see Cynthia. She still asleep. It's like 10:45. Drew coming to her room. She like, girl, why the bra hanging from the TV? She was like, what, you had a little late night mash session with your boy? She was like, no, I ain't even get to call him. I'm like, we need to talk about what happened last night, though. So Cynthia was saying it was a lot of WAP in the living room. Like, all over the place or whatever. And so Drew was like, because I guess Drew left and then came back. And Cynthia was like, what, girl, you came back? She was like, yeah, girl. It was a lot of faces and booties and faces. And then I got flipped up on the coffee table somehow. And then I got rearranged and then twisted. And then I was bouncing and all that other stuff. And so then they was like, yeah, Toya was on Portia. And then Tanya was on Toya. And then, so it was like a three-piece. It was like this Portia, this what's the name, Latoya, and then this Tanya. So it was like that. I said, what? Can we get the footage? So anyway, so then somehow they was talking about, was the cameras tied up? She was like, yeah, the cameras was all taped up or whatever. And so Drew was like, good. And so Drew was like, they better have been taped up. They better been taped up. Oh, you gonna tell your man? And so Cynthia was like, yeah, I'm gonna tell him. So she was like, you sure, girl? You want something? You saw receipts? You saw the ding-a-ling and you receipts, girl? She was like, I mean, I'm gonna tell him, but I'm gonna tell him in person. Or whatever. So she was like, all right, girl, all right, we gonna be the truth tellers or something like that. I said, girl, I wouldn't tell Ralph shit. I wouldn't tell Ralph shit. Not Ralph. Now, Mike, I like, whatever. I just told my boo thing or something like that. Because, like, who cares? But Ralph, I wouldn't have told Ralph shit. Who was in Tampa with you, bitch? Tell me that, and I tell you what happened at the bachelorette party. Anyway, so Latoya come downstairs, and it's a coffee. I think no, not Portia was downstairs. I think it was Marlo down there. Yeah, because Marlo was getting drinks ready for the girls or whatever. And then Candy was down there, and Latoya was saying they had a boat set up for them. So Marlo was like, she had to sleep on the other side of her little dressing room or whatever. Here come Kenya coming downstairs. I smell pussy. She was like, you don't smell nothing over here. And so Kenya was like, yeah, because there was a lot of humping involved or something like that. And so Candy in her confessional was saying like Bolo got a lot of attention and stuff. Portia come downstairs, child. She all fancy, like she about to go on a damn yacht. They like, we going on a fishing boat. She was like, oh wow, let me go get changed. So she go upstairs to get changed. And then Kenya brings up the fact in the morning time that, was it the morning time? No, she says that somebody was sleeping in somebody else's bed or whatever. And so Candy was like, what? Who's sleeping in somebody else's bed? Like, what are you talking about? And then she was like, whatever happens in the dungeon stays in the dungeon. And so Marla was like, girl, you should have had everybody sign NDAs because people can't keep their mouths closed or whatever. And so they like, oh, we going to a fishing boat. I'm like, why Marlo got heels on? So they go to leave or whatever. So I think somebody was in the hot seat. I think it was Kenya, or was it Cynthia? I forgot who was in the hot seat, but somebody said they like playing games or whatever. And so Cynthia stayed back with Kenya. Who else was back? Tanya. It was Cynthia, Kenya, Tanya, Shamia, and Latoya. So those five stayed back. Candy, Marlo, Drew, and Portia was on the fishing boat or whatever. So back at the house, they talking or whatever. So Cynthia and Kenya is in the kitchen, and she like, yeah, I'm getting some rosé and the rosé for the Jose's or something like that. And Cynthia was like, oh yeah, girl, because we need to talk or whatever. I'm gonna be at the pool. So Cynthia go out there to the pool and stuff, and she tell Kenya like when she came downstairs and when she saw something, she saw Portia and Latoya make it out or whatever. So she was like, and I stayed and watched for about 20 minutes, girl. I was into it. I would have too, Cynthia. Me and you, girl. But anyway, she said she enjoyed watching. And so Kenya says, oh, she saw Portia and Toya or whatever. And so she was like, I think Cynthia was like, oh, a titty must have fell out or something. It ended up in somebody. No, this was Kenya. She was like, a titty must have fell out, ended up in somebody's mouth or something like that. And then Bolo was sitting down and all I saw was all these heads disappearing. I said, so she's saying Bolo was giving head? Oh, they gave Bolo some head. I mean, they got them throats like the child. Because I told you it was whatever. So on the bus, they talking. So they talking about how Kenya stayed in character, and Marlo was like, "Oh, well, I thought she was gonna be boring, but she really surprised me. I think she surprised a lot of us." And they was like, "Well, she was just being her best self and stuff." And then we see Kenya and Cynthia. So they talking about how was Kenya was talking about how shocked she was of Drew, talking about Drew was humping and doing all this and all this other stuff. And so Cynthia was like, "Oh, she must have left some things out, because I talked to her this morning. She didn't say all that." She was like, "Oh yeah, she left a lot of things out or whatever." And so then that's when Latoya came down. She wanted to give everybody kisses, and they was like, "No, we giving us kisses because we saw you kissing all up on Portia last night. We saw you." Toya was like, "I don't know what y'all talking about." And so then Kenya won't go into this whole judge thing, like this treat her as a hostile witness and stuff. And so she want to know whose pussy got murdered in the sheets. I said, they can say pussy like that? Okay. But so she was like, Bolo left at 7 a.m. Where was you at? Or whatever. So then they was like, well, I don't know. Because Marlo, so on the bus, they was like, Marlo left first. Kenya left, and then Portia was like, she don't remember name because she had so many drinks or whatever. And she was like, I was living on everybody. She was like, I was for the streets, okay? So then Candy was like, somebody came in the kitchen. So Marlo said, "Oh, that was me. I had to put my plate away," or something like that. And so back at the house, Toya like, "Well, I was on IG at 6 a.m. so I wasn't in the living room anymore. I got proof of that or whatever." So then they on the boat. Portia about to fall because she got on heels. Marlo like, "Oh, I thought we was being funny about the fishing boat, but they going fishing for real, for real." Then Tanya and Shamia show up at the pool. More talking, more Bolo court. Tanya and Shamia like, "I ain't answering nothing." Shamia was like, "I got in my bed around 4:30 a.m. And so here go Kenya in her confessional. "Well, I mean, if you got a friend that's a hoe, then you just a hoe by proxy. Sorry, girl," or whatever. And then Tanya was like, "I don't know nothing. I was pretty drunk." And somebody was like, I think Kenya was like, "Oh yeah, because you was being spanked by the tongue or something." She was like, "What?" And so then Candy, she in the hot seat, and then Candy said that it was because I guess the producer says, was it more than kissing at the after party? And so she was like, "Say what now?" Like she couldn't hear. That's how you play it, Candy. So then they was like, on a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate the party? She was like, "Oh, it was like 100. So they was like, "Well, what happened?" She was like, a girl never tells, or something like that. So they was really fishing. Marlo and Candy starts talking about Marlo and Kenya getting along and dropping the old stuff, and then they ended up catching a shark. I said, "Oh, that's cute." Then the ladies came back. So then they come in, and then they like, "Oh, y'all just in time for court or whatever." And Candy was like, "F court. Did y'all cook some food?" I said, "Okay." Okay, y'all been in the hot sun all day. Where the food at? And so they look like they was packing or maybe finding another outfit. I don't know. Drew calls Ralph, and he tells her he's stressed out because he's moving into the house by himself and yada yada yada. Sir, nobody told you to close on a house and move into a house by yourself. Okay. Toya, she cooking. She don't know how to cook no dang on crab boil. She done put the shrimp in before the crabs. I'm like, girl, the shrimp take the least time to cook. What in the world? So Marlo like, "Girl, let me help you out." And then Candy like, "Yeah, because we ain't trying to die today." Oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups. So and Kenya's still fishing. So mind you, this was like early in the morning. Now it's at nighttime. She's still fishing to try to figure out what happened at this party. Like, girl, let that shit rest. So they in the kitchen. I think it was Candy, Marlo, Latoya, and I think that was it. It might have been somebody else, maybe Shamia. But she was like, "Well, I heard some noises coming from down the hallway or whatever." And Latoya was like, "What kind of noises? Like moans and groans?" She was like, "Yeah, girl, like moans and groans and stuff." And I came to the fridge to get some milk, and I heard all the noises. So I went over there and was listening. And she was like, Candy was like, "Don't be listening at my door," because I was. She was like, "No, I knew it wasn't you, but I heard down there, and I know Portia's voice, so I knew it was her or whatever." I said, "Girl, stop talking about some what she say, talking about." So Candy was like, "Let it go. They all grown women. Why you trying to, put their business out there, whatever." And so then somehow it came up to, it was 45 minutes. So Candy was like, so she had her baby waiting for milk for 45 minutes so she can listen in. 45 minutes though. And so then she was like, Kenya was like, the noises I heard was F me harder, F this dick harder, F that harder. And I heard multiple women's voices or whatever. And so they looking like, girl, let it go. Candy like, that's girl code. That's girl code or whatever. And then in her confessional, they asked her, like, was there a threesome or whatever? She was like, look, I wasn't part of no, like, if there was an alleged, look, I don't know nothing. I was cracking up. I said, Candy, you almost flipped up, girl. You almost, just be quiet. Then Marlo, she was on the hot seat. She was like, I'm just minding my business. Then we see Cynthia. She called Mike, or she was calling Mike, but he didn't look like he answered the phone or nothing like that. Then Marlo like, look, girl, I ain't wearing nothing fancy. I got on some jeans and the top. I said, this is the first time I seen her with some baggy jeans on. She didn't look bad or nothing like that. And then Cynthia had called her up there on the premise to help her with her earrings or something like that. But then she really wanted her up there so she could squash the beef between her and Cynthia. I'm not Cynthia, Kenya. So she was like, well, I want you to come down here and talk to Kenya, and y'all had this conversation. She was like, right now, girl, we need prayer. We need to... She was like, all right, we gonna do this. We gonna do this or whatever. So she gets to Kenya's door, and then Kenya act like she didn't really want to talk to her or whatever. And then we saw, like, of course, clips like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, where, you know, they was going at each other's throats and stuff like that. And so they ended up talking it out. Kenya told her like how Marlo hurt her, really calm and stuff like that. And Marlo apologized. And then Kenya apologized to Marlo. So they all back in peace and all that other stuff. So I was like, it's about goddamn time. So then they showed clips from 7 years ago. I said, wow, these ladies look so much different than they do now, okay? And then we saw, and I forgot that Marlo and Kenya was actually cool with each other. It's been that long since we saw them be cool. So they showed clips of where they was actually cool, and when Marlo was crying or Kenya was crying, they was consoling each other and stuff like that. So they want to try to, you know, get back to that and you know, just kind of rebuild their friendship or whatever like that. So Cynthia was like, all right, y'all, this is real good. This is real good. So just keep that good energy. Keep that good energy. And so they continued to talk and stuff. And then, what's her name? Marlo gave Kenya, all these K's, child. Kenya, we're talking about the orgy hug. She was like, girl, no, not after last night or something like that. And so then it was time for Portia to be in the hot seat. Portia was like, I'm not sitting in that hot seat. I plead the fifth. So she ain't even do it, okay? We see Tanya, Portia, and Shamia in Portia's room. She's saging them down and stuff like that. And they talking about what happened at the pool. And so, Shamia, like, Kenya trying to find out about Bolo. So Shamia tells them what happened in the kitchen too. And so Tanya was like, wait, what? She trying to accuse somebody of doing something? What? Threesome? So, Portia, she getting fired up. She getting mad about it because she like, here she go trying to cause some drama between us or whatever. And so upstairs, Kenya and Marlo, they still talking. So they, you know, still talking, having a good time. And Marlo like, yo, yeah, I heard some noises last night. So Kenya like, finally, thank you. So she feel vindicated that she heard noises and stuff like that. And then down there in the room with Shamia, Tanya, and Portia, like, she going too far. She's so disgusting. Now, she want me to go in there and be all fired up and stuff. And, like, we did all this or whatever. I'm single, but Tanya, you got a whole fiance and stuff like that. She trying to cause drama. Here you go, Marlo upstairs. Well, maybe somebody was having a wet dream. She like, girl, no. So then Tanya and them come out the room into the kitchen. And so Tanya asked LaToya, like, what's going on? And so then LaToya is like, well, I finally see why everybody got beef with Kenya, because she's trying to take what happened last night and make it into something bigger and taking the fun away from last night. She's trying to make it a bigger issue or whatever. So Marlo and Kenya, they still in the room and they coming down. And she like, oh, I'm so excited that we cool so I can squeeze on and hug on Brooklyn. Oh, yeah. She was like, wait a minute. There's levels to this. There's levels to this. She was like, girl, hush now. Where she at? So I can squeeze on her and stuff. So they walking in, everybody downstairs, they walking in together. So they like, oh, look who walking in together. Oh, okay, they friends and stuff. So Candy like, Kenya and Marlo? I know Portia ain't happy about this. So Drew like, well, prayer works and Jesus is real. And then Portia like, oh. So look, she got another ally. F Kenya, F Kenya. I'm like, ooh. And then so they asked Portia to say a little prayer. She was like, I'm not in the prayer mood. And that's how it went off. And then I forgot the song. It was like, Jesus. What it was like, Jesus, take it to a higher place or something said. I said, Bravo is so shady. And that's how it went off. It's to be continued. I said, Lord, if they don't get out of South Carolina already. But the night's episode was really good. And again, I wish I was part of the festivities because they look like they had a bomb-ass time. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all felt about tonight's episode. If y'all like this recap review, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, hit the share button, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. All right, y'all, until next time, peace.